So the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 is positioned very similar to Apple's standard A19 chip. Qualcomm has just officially announced the second flagship processor in its dual flagship lineup, and the very first device to feature it is right here. Naturally, the big question is, what kind of performance can we expect from this new chip? This time, OnePlus has paired it with a massive 8300 mAh battery in the OnePlus Ace 6T. Globally, this model will be known as the OnePlus 15R, scheduled to launch worldwide on December 17th. So how well does it actually perform? Let's break it down. A quick shout out to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Mickey from techmaiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our exciting tech content. For a phone aimed at high performance, the overall build quality and in-hand feel are impressive. The matte aluminum alloy frame combined with the silky glass back feels premium and smooth. With its rounded edges and the clean two-ring metal camera design, the back panel looks refreshingly minimal compared to most Android phones today. Despite being a performance-focused device, it stays relatively thin and lightweight, and the camera bump is kept nicely under control. Great news for gaming-focused users. There's also the special Genshin Impact edition, and this year it introduces a new character, Princess Bailu, who brings a mix of divine charm and vibrant energy to the design. In terms of durability, OnePlus went all out. The Ace 6T supports a full range of protection ratings, from IP66 all the way up to IP68, IP69, and even IP69K. For a performance phone meant to last, this is definitely a strong selling point. Considering it packs a huge 8300 mAh battery and a 6.83-inch display, the overall weight is managed surprisingly well. The balance is also well distributed, so the phone doesn't feel top-heavy or awkward to hold. Now let's talk about the screen. Here are the main specs. The 165 Hz refresh rate is one of the biggest highlights this year, and OnePlus is currently the only brand offering this level of smoothness. But does the hardware actually deliver enough performance to make full use of 165 Hz? We'll come back to the display in a bit. First, look at raw performance. This year's Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 uses Qualcomm's new in-house Oryon CPU architecture and the latest Adreno GPU design, both built on TSMC's N3P process, the same process used for the flagship Snapdragon 8 Elite. That's why the positioning of the 8 Gen 5 is very similar to Apple's standard A19 model. Let's answer the big question everyone's been asking. How does the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 compare to last generation's Snapdragon 8 Elite? Looking at benchmarks, CPU single-core performance is slightly lower than the Elite, but multi-core scores get a small boost thanks to the upgraded manufacturing process. It also holds up well when compared to Apple's A19. GPU performance is also on par with competing chips, but focusing only on peak numbers doesn't tell the whole story. The major improvement from this new process is power efficiency. On top of that, OnePlus has customized the game scheduling kernel this year to optimize real-world gaming performance. So let's jump into the actual game tests. Starting with a low-load title like Honor of Kings, the OnePlus Ace 6T performs a bit better than the Snapdragon 8 Elite device. Frame rates stay just as stable, but the OnePlus uses slightly less power. Temperatures are about average. Next, moving on to a medium-load game like Genshin Impact, the power efficiency difference becomes much clearer. The OnePlus Ace 6T runs significantly more efficiently than the Elite device. Both maintain stable FPS, but the lower power draw on the Ace 6T results in noticeably cooler temperatures, which means a better sustained gaming experience. Finally, for a heavy load test, we ran Honkai Star Rail. At this stage, the OnePlus Ace 6T runs the game at 763p resolution. For comparison, we use the iPhone X standard version, which has similar performance levels. Here, the OnePlus shows more stable frame rates and much better thermal control, staying under 45 degrees Celsius even under high stress. Clearly, OnePlus invested heavily in its cooling system this generation. To sum it up, the OnePlus Ace 6T outperforms Snapdragon 8 Elite devices in several gaming scenarios and handles 165 FPS gameplay with ease. This is exactly the kind of performance users expect from a gaming-focused flagship. We've talked plenty of times about why a 165 Hz display is such a big deal. It refreshes faster, updates enemy positions quicker, and helps you aim with more precision. But during our previous OnePlus 15 video, a lot of viewers asked the same question. Isn't touch latency mainly determined by the touch sampling rate and the touch chip? How can the frame rate have anything to do with it? Let's break it down simply. In a 165 FPS game, the system produces 165 frames every second. A 120 FPS game generates 120 frames. Since the total time is still 1 second, the duration needed to render each frame becomes shorter at higher frame rates. Touch delay isn't just the time it takes for your finger press to be recognized, it's the delay across the whole chain: input sampling, rendering, and display output. Upgrading touch sampling or the touch chip only improves that first stage. Reducing the frame generation time speeds up the final output. So to actually lower touch latency, all parts of the chain need to improve, not just one. Now let's look at some comparisons. Last time, we tested Delta. This time, we tested PUBG Mobile running at 165 FPA. Here's the single-tap firing test. When shooting repeatedly at the same rhythm, slow-motion footage shows that the OnePlus Ace 6T empties its magazine faster than rival phones. This is why proper game optimization matters. Game support still covers 5 major genres, including all the popular mainstream titles. We ran long-term tests across multiple games, and pushing full frame rates doesn't stress this phone much at all. The cooling system holds up even in extended sessions. The 165Hz display has a few more standout features. Brightness is excellent among phones in its price range. For eye comfort in dark environments, OnePlus keeps its usual approach: DC dimming at medium brightness and high-frequency PWM at low brightness, both mature and reliable solutions. Under-display fingerprint unlocking is also included, and since it's ultrasonic, it's faster and more accurate. The screen also supports rain and glove touch, which is super helpful in tricky conditions and makes the phone more accessible for different users. Another major selling point is the huge 8300 mAh battery. To put it into perspective, my portable power bank only has 5000 mAh. Charging is handled by 100-watt super flash charge. From 0 to 100%, it takes 1 hour and 2 minutes and 1 hour and 6 minutes to finish trickle charging. Pairing an energy-efficient flagship chip with such a massive battery is definitely the right call. We ran 5 battery endurance tests simulating light, medium, and heavy daily usage. After everything, the phone still had 76% remaining. Compared with other phones in this price category, and even some pricier models with big batteries, the Ace 6T came out noticeably ahead. Even devices marketed specifically for long battery life didn't beat it. Bigger really is better this time. For many users, the extended battery endurance might actually be more appealing than the raw performance. Next, we tested another scenario: streaming 4K 60 FPS online video with subtitles from full charge until the phone completely powered off. It lasted 20 hours and 40 minutes. Again, compared with similarly large batteries, it still has the edge. The improved power efficiency of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 clearly plays a big role. Long battery life also depends on good software. And here the Ace 6T still runs ColorOS 16, a system many users are familiar with. With its smooth dual-engine design, everything feels extremely fluid. The side AI quick access panel is still available, making it easy to jump between apps quickly. And ColorOS continues to excel in cross-platform interaction with iPhones. So if you're an iPhone user who wants an Android phone mainly for gaming, the Ace 6T's excellent thermals and long battery life make it a great match. Finally, let's talk cameras. Even though this phone doesn't focus primarily on photography, OnePlus still uses a solid, proven 50-megapixel main camera. Here are some sample shots compared side by side with competing devices. Which one do you think looks better? Let me know in the comments. To wrap things up, the OnePlus Ace 6T combines a frosted aluminum frame with a silk glass back, giving it a clean, premium finish, and the protection rating is flagship level. Performance is strong, and in certain scenarios, its power efficiency and temperature control even outperform devices using the Snapdragon 8 Elite. The 165Hz gaming experience is genuinely on another level. It's hard to go back once you get used to it. The 8300 mAh battery plus 100-watt charging easily beats many phones that advertise long battery life. ColorOS 16 adds smoothness and excellent cross-device flexibility, which is great for people who use both Android and iOS. The base price for the OnePlus Ace 6T, also known as the OnePlus 15R globally, starts at 2,399 yuans in China, roughly 255 pounds in the UK, and around $340 in the US. Overall, it delivers everything you'd expect from a performance flagship: a powerful next-gen chip and outstanding battery life. Gamers can finally stop worrying about their battery draining too fast.